Right guys, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you lot can actually hear me. Just double check whether you lot can hear me or not, and then we will start this stream. Okay, so this week is NFP week, and we do love an NFP week. Some people, they shy away from it thinking that, they're going to have a bad week, and we actually personally like NFP week. It does us well every single time. So obviously approaching price today, I don't believe we have any red folder news. Let me just double check to make sure. I think there's a medium impact news event coming out at 9:45 a.m. Yeah, so medium impact news at 9:45 PMI, which is at the start of the macro. And then tomorrow we have 10 a.m. red folder news. And I did also see on Thursday, I believe the market will be closed on Thursday due to a funeral. I'm not sure if that's correct. I'd have to double check. But as far as I'm aware, on Thursday the market will be closed. But I will have to double check about that. Yeah, so as of now, you can see that buy side and higher time frame buy side liquidity has already been swept. So this level, and we've tapped into this 4-hour bearish gap, putting price back into a deep premium. And then we was originally in a 5-minute bearish uni, and I wanted to see if that got respected. And then prior to the macro, got disrespected, and price has continued to push higher. And then ES has just taken out that level of buy side as well. So it'll be interesting to see what we get prior to the macro. We also have a very clean draw on liquidity, as you can see here, of these equal lows. So considering that price has just taken out buy side and tapped into that 4-hour bearish gap, it would be good to see a clean setup to look for shorts, and then we can target these equal lows as our final TP. So the opposing liquidity would be equal lows. It wouldn't actually put price back into a discount on the higher time frame, because you can see how much it's already pushed up on the higher time frame. However, it would then retrace back after 10 a.m. So after this candle closes, then it would retrace back into that 4-hour bullish gap, which would be our target of equal lows. So what do you lot prefer? Do you prefer Discord or YouTube? Because we can continue on YouTube or we can continue back on Discord. I honestly don't mind. So it's up to you guys. So obviously Discord has no delays, and then YouTube seems to work for everyone's devices. So that's the only thing. But if you guys want Discord, then we can go back. How many contracts should I risk on 150k top step account? So I'd personally risk around 15 micros. So if you're on the evaluation phase and you're not yet funded, then I'd trade using 15 micros. And then once you do get funded, I'd trade around 12 micros moving forward. And then as you build that 150k account, then obviously go back to trading 15 micros on that account. If we take no trades inside of this macro, for the next one, I will switch back to Discord for you guys because it seems highly requested to go back to Discord, so it's not a problem. I'll make sure the next stream is on Discord and we'll continue on Discord moving forward. Is there a Discord link? Yeah, I'll send the link to the live stream for Discord. Obviously, once I go live on Discord. We're not live on Discord right now. But let's say we are to trade this second day of macro and start up another stream. The next stream will be on Discord. And obviously, the rest of them moving forward throughout the week. And the rest of them will be all on Discord. But I wanted to try out YouTube and see whether everyone had a 1 second delay. But it seems to be varied due to other people's Wi-Fi. So some people would have a 10-second delay and some people will have almost, a 1 to 2 second delay. But as you can see now, we've got an SMT between NQ and ES, and buy side's been taken out with a clean drawn liquidity of these equal lows. The short-term high on NQ and has not been taken out on ES. So initially, we'll look for displacement below this short-term low. We're also inside that 4-hour bearish gap to the left. So if we got a displacement, we would definitely look for shorts. So today we've got a bearish bias. In this scenario, we're not going to be looking for longs, only looking for shorts inside of this macro. How much should I risk on a 100k top step evaluation? I don't really know too much about the 100k accounts. I only know about the 50s and the 150s. Let me just double check. So what's the drawdown on the 100k top steps, if you remind me? Is it? I believe it might be 3k. I think it's 3k. But for the 100k account, considering it's 3k, then I would actually trade using around 12 micros. And you could even trade around 14 or 15 micros on the evaluation. And then so 3k. Once you get over to the funded, then I would trade using either 10 or 12 micros moving forward. But on evaluation, it doesn't really matter too much about risk management. You just want to pass it as fast as possible, get to the funded account, and then use the correct risk management once you're funded. Too many people hang around on evaluation accounts, and that can be... I thought someone just crashed. So that can be the downfall of some people. They miss a lot of clean price action because they're always on evaluation. So never be that guy. Use a little higher risk on the evaluations, get funded, and then use the correct risk. What about a 300k? I am down 2.5. So if that's on evaluation, then you could be trading around 22 or 24 micros on the 300k accounts of Apex. Obviously on evaluation, I'll trade around 24 micros per trade. And then once you're funded, I would trade around 18 micros. And once you're funded as well, if you are to take a loss, because it's inevitable, then make sure you half your risk from 18 to 9. And then you can go back to 18 when you have a winning trade. So far there's not really too much obviously for us to engage with. We're not even inside of the macro, and with the displacement lower, I would like to see this 1 minute bullish gap get inversed, and we could either, considering we get a displacement lower, we could use the either value gap as an entry for shorts if we was to get that displacement lower. So as price continues higher, it's filling more of a portion of this 4-hour bearish gap to the left. And vice versa for ES, you would like to see this 1 minute bullish gap get inversed as well. Okay, so we might be starting to see a displacement here. Let's see whether this bullish gap gets inversed. Okay, so yeah, so it didn't get inversed. No worries. Someone said, bro, I violated one rule on my account and now it's ineligible for funding. Should I wait for the rebuild date or should I just reset it? Well, honestly, you might as well just reset it at that point. If you've already broken a rule and it's ineligible to get funded, you might as well waste no time and reset that ASAP. There's no point waiting for the rebuild date. You can cancel that subscription and just start a new account. Now, which prop firm are you with and which rule did you actually break? What happened to Discord? The next stream is going to be on Discord, guys, so don't worry. I know some of you experiencing delays with YouTube, and I wanted to see today whether we could do YouTube and have 0 delays, but you know, it's down to other people's Wi-Fi, and that's what I've understood about YouTube. So some people have maybe a 1 to 3 second delay, and then some are going to have 10 seconds, but on Discord, everyone's got almost 0 delay. Someone said, why a bearish confluence? Are you asking why we have a bearish bias? So obviously inside this first day macro, we're only looking for bearish setups only, as we have a bearish bias. You can see prices in that 4-hour bearish gap to the left. It's in a deep premium. We've also swept buy side prior to the New York Open at 745, which I deleted off the chart. And initially I was monitoring that 5-minute bearish uni here, which you can see, and it got disrespected. Price reached towards buy side on like NQ and ES, and then as of now we are anticipating a displacement lower, or price could just continue higher towards buy side at 21.94, well, 954. But I wouldn't be interested in looking for longs, considering we've not seen any sort of major sell side liquidity get swept prior to the New York Open or prior to the macro. So there's no reason at all to be looking for longs. In this scenario, you would only look for shorts. And if you take no trades, it's not a problem. There's no point trying to force anything. And especially when we have this clean set of equal lows, you can see here on NQ, which has not been taken out. So preferably we want this level to get taken out, or price to retrace and take some sort of sell side out before we start considering looking for longs and targeting this level of buy side here. If I reset, I'll be charged twice right now and on the rebuild date. You might be possible to cancel the account and then just start a new account. And then on the rebuild date, you could just block Apex from your bank so they can't charge you again. Depends what bank you're with though, honestly. Because if you're with, say, Revolut Bank, you'll be able to block Apex from obviously taking any more payments. And then you could just continue with that new account that you started. Okay, so we got an SMT between NQ and ES. And let's see if this bullish gap gets inversed on ES, and then we get that displacement lower that we was looking for. Okay, so ES has inversed that bullish gap, only slightly. It's not really much of an inverse, to be honest. But we've seen no displacement on either pairs. Guys, don't worry too much about the delay, because I will send... Obviously, when I am monitoring price, you guys are going to know when I'm about to enter. And also, I'll send inside the group immediately once I have entered or taken any positions. But after this stream, we're going to go back over to Discord. Yeah, someone's just sent it inside of the group as well. So on Thursday, the market is going to be closed due to a passing of a former president. I don't understand why they would close the market just for a funeral. It honestly doesn't make sense at all. Who knows? But it'll be closed on Thursday. And on Friday we have to be careful because it is the end of NFP week and it's also the day after the market's been closed. Given the conditions, would price action be better, obviously, to monitor inside of Friday's PM session? To be honest, on Friday, at the end of NFP week, you don't really want to monitor the PM session anyway. So if we was to monitor on Friday, we'd just take a look at that first 2 AM macros, and that would literally be it. And we'd be very cautious on what we actually take, only looking for clean setups only. Okay, so let's see whether we get a displacement lower on the ES as well. Starting to displace on NQ. But it's done this a couple times in this macro already, so let's see whether we actually get a displacement or not. Then we also got this breaker block here if we actually displace. Okay, so still no displacement on ES just yet, and it's just we've not yet seen a displacement on ES, and there's no bearish gap that's actually closed up on NQ. Yeah, it's not very clean, guys, to be honest. We've not seen a displacement on ES, and it's only just displaced on NQ, but now it's disrespected the breaker, so it's likely to go back to the highs, and we just see higher prices. So nothing as of yet. We have that tiny 2-minute bearish gap, but I'm not interested in it because ES is not clean at all. So price will likely just continue back to the short-term high. Okay, so ES has returned back to that short-term high. But in price action like this, there's not really too much to do. Just wait patiently through it, and we'll also be there for that second day macro if we have to. Why is your stream quiet delay? Oh, it's because I muted the mic for a brief period of time because this price action is pretty boring. There's not too much to talk about. If we get what we're looking for, then obviously we're going to take it. Otherwise, sometimes I mute the mic for a moment or two. Someone asked, will you have took that short when ES is not displaced? So you talking about this short here, which we was initially looking at, and ES did not displace. And if ES did displace, then we still wouldn't have taken it, most likely, because it depends on ES, because if ES displaced a lot and we didn't have any bearish gaps to enter off, okay, cool, we have that bearish breaker that you could consider entering off. So if I had a low amount of risk, we may have considered it, but we wanted to see a large displacement lower for ES after taking out that short-term high, and we just didn't see it. And as we currently stand, I've seen this many times, so price would accumulate around this level, and then for the second day of macro, you'd see some sort of manipulation above the short-term high, or manipulation lower, where price would sweep this minor sell side liquidity. It would tap into the 15-minute bullish gap, which we have here, and then we can look for a position to enter long, target the previous high, the previous height, and then also target that next level of buy side liquidity there as well. So that's the two scenarios for the second day of macro. We still have time left in this first AM, but not too much happening as of now. But for the second AM, you can see accumulation. We either get manipulation either way, so a sweep of this short-term high, or we get a sweep of sell side, and then we can look for a continuation long, or we could look for shorts in that second AM. So we have an open bias as of now for the second day of macro. For this first day of macro though, we have a bearish bias looking for shorts. How can I trade my funded futures on multiple accounts in TradingView via TradeAvate on MacBook? Honestly, I'm not really too sure how to do that because I don't do it myself, but I do know of a few traders personally who actually managed to have one lead account through all of their prop accounts, and then they link them all together through a software which Apex sells themselves. So I believe it's $200-300. You can pay for it via Apex and connect all of your funded accounts through that software, and then basically execute through TradingView, and it will go through to all of your accounts. The delay on YouTube is nasty. I prefer Discord. Yeah, don't worry, bro. For the second day of macro, because it's looking like, as of now, not too much has obviously happened in the first AM. So second day of macro, we'll be back on Discord. So don't worry about the delays with YouTube. It won't happen anymore. We'll be back on Discord. Do you think you should go back to half position size, considering obviously the loss we took last week towards the end of the week? Should you be on half position size? So in the past, I would say that you should drop to half position size, but ultimately it depends on your drawdown status. So if you're getting close to say under 50% of the original drawdown that's provided by that account, then I would be on half position size at all times. And then once your account gets to a point where you're in the clear, then stay at full position size, even if you was to take a loss. And that's obviously the best way to capitalize on win streaks. And when you have a losing streak, then if you ever get below 50% of your original drawdown, so say it was 3K, if you ever get below a 1.5K drawdown on that account, one sec, we might get a displacement lower here. So ES, this took that short-term high once again, and it was taken on NQ. Displacement below this short-term low. Starting to displace on NQ and ES. But how many times have we seen this in this first day of macro now? It keeps trying to trick us multiple times. So let's wait for this 1 minute to close and we'll see whether we actually have a displacement or it's just another sweep of a short-term low to make higher prices. Yeah, so I'm not satisfied with that. The way that last 1 minute candle closed within the last couple seconds, that is not displacement, that's a sweep of the short-term low, and price will just continue higher. So you can see how extremely manipulated price is at the moment. Very volatile, and not too much has actually happened. So you got to be careful in this sort of price action. When you went to the States at 18 years old, where were you staying at? So the first place I went in the States was actually New York, and I stayed over in Brooklyn because at 18 I wasn't nowhere near where I'm at today. I was very new to trading. I had a few years of experience, but I wasn't really profitable at that point, and I didn't even think I discovered ICT. It was only around 2 years ago. I think I was just discovering ICT at that point, just basically on the learning stages of ICT. I stayed in Brooklyn in an Airbnb, and then I also went to Miami a week later. I stayed over in Doral area in Miami, stayed there for around a week or so. Then I went to, did I go to Colombia? Yeah, I went to Colombia as well. I went to Medellin for about 5 days, and I did not sleep for like 3 days. And then I went over to Cancun, Mexico for 2 weeks as well. But that was over back when I was 18. Some of you guys obviously don't know my age, but I'm 20 years old currently. My birthday will be over in July, so not sure what part of the world I'll be in July. We'll see. Possibly Brazil, maybe back in Miami. Honestly, couldn't tell you guys. Probably because PA tapped back into that 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Well, this macro is over at this point anyway, so that's going to be us done for this first day of macro. You can see it's just been a bunch of accumulation, and for that second day of macro, we look for manipulation either below a short-term low, and then we can just look for continuation model higher towards buy side, or we get this obviously sweep of that short-term high. But we'll see what we get for that second day of macro. Let's wait patiently and not force any trades this week. So I'll catch you guys obviously on Discord for that second day of macro. What date in July? It's on the 13th of July. But I'm going to cut the stream here, and I'll see you guys for that second day of macro, so take care.